There's a birthday up there, I think. Congratulations, I'll catch up. Lots of people. So Albert's here, Lyra's here, Garcia's here from Holland. Having a look at the Gudvangen web shop. Okay, yeah, no, I haven't put there up. They have the pictures. All I have to do is upload it. So the ones you're looking at are the ones that are sold. But we've got new ones. He's got 20 new ones, and all I have to do is upload the pictures. They're all marked and everything. So one of them actually went, so maybe 19 needles. Your friend Torben and Karin came through the village earlier today to go get coffee because the village isn't open, and she saw me registering the needles and bought one immediately. So I think the shortest one is 9 centimeters and the biggest one is about, I know, 20 centimeters. No, it's just as soon as we start talking about needles, do we go down innuendo?
You're doing it to yourself now, but
I know, nobody can help me here. Self-driven. Oh, so good, yeah. But if there's something you're missing in the shop, for example, the yarn says we're sold out, but we're not. We just have very limited amount of skeins left in different colors. But you can message me, and if we have what you have in the store, then I can just put it up on the web shop like that and create an order for it. So you can get some too. I know somebody was looking at the the Blona yarn, and it says we're sold out, but we're not completely sold out. But we're getting more, I hope, in March, April. Lyra is warping all her looms today before tomorrow's birthday shenanigans. Ooh, happy birthday. Is it your birthday or somebody else in the house? We're not too clear here. But considering they're all saying congratulations, I think it's her birthday. Lindsay Langley's here from Dallas, Texas. First day above freezing since Wednesday, and the ice is finally melting. What's the weather doing here?
we have a lot of snow, but it's leaving now.
We were expecting 200 to 300 people today. But then it started snowing like mad, and then it turned into slush, and they couldn't make it.
Yeah, the snow had absolutely nothing to do with that.
No, tell them what does, though.
I've talked about it before. It's the Stad Peninsula. You can't get around it with boats if the weather is bad.
I think it was episode 92?
Every episode when we have been inside.
94, yeah, because we were in 93 and 94. 93, we had the big chicken thing where I hung you up by your toes. And then
big chicken
turkey.
Yes, that's what
see,
it's
this
called.
is why I shouldn't bake turkey. Anyway, and then 94, we showed them a map, and you can see where Stads Peninsula is. Why is Stads Peninsula so dangerous?
Well, it sticks out into the sea like this. For most of the Norwegian coast, you can sail on the inside of islands and basically be in protected water. But when you're going around this thing, you can't. The bottom out here is very shallow. The Gulf Stream is being forced around it like this. Then you have a tidal stream that goes around it like this. And then you have very strong weather coming in from this direction. This causes a phenomenon that is called static waves. These waves are roughly pyramid shaped, and they can get really big. And if you get one of them in each hand, or you get one of them right under your boat, it will cause the boat to move violently. And if it is a transport boat with a lot of cargo, the cargo might get displaced. And then you're up for a very rough time in that weather.
A lot of deaths there.
Yes, not so many recently, but that's mostly because they're not taking any chances. So the customers we lost didn't drown on the Stad Sea. They just stopped on the other side because the weather wasn't clear. So that's why I really want that tunnel.
Okay. I saw a question there. Okay, let's see. First, there's Torben made it. Thank you for the tour in the store today. Yep, she got the first pick of the needle. Torben's is it wife or significant other, Sambo? It doesn't matter. They have a kid together, and she got a needle. I don't know which is more impressive. No, anyway, she got a really good needle. Heidi Liseth is here, and there's Karin Byom, I think is her name, yeah? Karin Byom then. That's Karin. She's the one with the lucky needle, yeah. I told you I didn't get the magnifying glass in time so I could see the text better. But it's kind of fun when I sit this close and you sit that far back. You look really, really small. And I have a head. It's so big. Yep, she got lucky. She got the best needle. She got the first pick. They haven't even gone online yet. Even the store hasn't even opened for him yet. Arlene's in Winnipeg, where it is currently 17, but feels like minus 26. It is snowing here again. However, beautiful. Well, I gotta say, with all the snow, it's actually getting a little bit warmer. It's a little warmer here today, but it's just slushy and
Yeah,
icky.
we are in the plus degrees,
Yeah.
so we are above freezing.
Mm.
Not many of them though. Maybe 3 or 4 plus degrees, I'm guessing.
But Dallas, Texas, though, them being freezing, actually, they've been freezing since Wednesday, and finally, ice is finally melting. They, how did you run out of electricity? That was the big problem, I think, for Texas, because all of a sudden they got to start heating, and they don't usually have to heat that much. And so then they end up with power outages and people freezing. Lyra is warping, oh yeah, that's right, we read that. She's warping looms. Oh, that takes a lot of time. Susan Youngman from Adirondacks. Yay, she's -7 where she's at. And 10 inches of snow. They got hit big time in the U.S. We got hit with some snow, but it's mostly slushy. But Greg's not here because he's waist deep in snow where he's at, over in Voss. Nella's here. She's also warping a loom. Oh, God, I got to get with the program. Here's where I grabbed my yarn. Max says, have you ever tried the Copton or Tarum stitch? Okay, so Coptic or Tarum, I don't think I only made like one thing with it. Because it looks so similar to knitting, I'd rather just knit it, which is lazy. But to start it, you can start with a Danish stitch, you can start with an Oslo stitch, but I cheat and use a crochet hook for the start chain. Let's see if I can do this here for you. This is one stitch I actually have to do upside down. 5. I'm just single crocheting if you know how to do it. With an obnoxiously big needle. That is 9 millimeters, holy crap. Okay, and then you pull the stitch through so your chain doesn't break. So now I have a chain, like that. It's just a single crochet, or slips, yeah. Then thread the needle and see if I can do this now with crappy sight. Oh, I gotta always think when I do Coptic. I think Coptic is one that will actually unravel. If I remember correctly, if Ann Decker or Maria or whoever's online, they can correct me really quickly on that one. No, you have to go through the crosses here. I always have to, I never get enough of New Lockentot Sana's webpage. It's www.en.neulockentot.fi. It's one Finnish word I actually know how to spell, Neulockentot, if I'm not butchering it, but Nell can correct me. Neulakkintaat, but it's like the needle binding Bible if you've never been there. So I will still click on videos to remember how to start things. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Nah, shit. I gotta watch a video because I'm not thinking. But this one I actually work upside down though. But the tip there then is everyone asks how to start it, but you can just start with a single crochet chain. I'll look it up. But I did remember, Max, you asked me last week if I did Russian 2+2. So I started doing, this yarn is one of the things in my basket. You're getting needle binding today. This is one of the things in the stash busting basket that I have committed myself to using up, and it's of course super thin, which was stupid of me, and has 160 meters. But it seems to be felting a little bit. This is some really old yarn. I don't even know if Sadna still makes Tova, which means felt. Okay, but anyway, so if I'm trying to use a denser stitch, and Russian 2+2 is actually a denser stitch, but it is felting up so much that I'm just gonna have to do that on a different one. There you have 2 rows of Russian 2+2. And it does look, it's hard to see it here if I can't get the shadow off of it, a lot like Dalby, which is Russian 1+1. It should just be a denser version of it, kind of like Mommen to finish 2+2. So, but I will make something with it. But this sucker I went back to an easier stitch on it because it's felting like mad. So, now I have to make you something in Coptic. I will do this. No, But anyway, so and you can see how she does it anyway. But a tip to start it would be to use the crochet stitch, or slip stitch with the crochet chain. Okay, Regina's here as well. She needs inspiration to get back into crafting. You and me both. My basket is not getting any emptier, but I did finish something. That's upside down. And the kid that came to visit today is way too big to try these on. So I'm going to have to make some much bigger, because I think it's going to have to be a newborn that wears these. And the loop is on there so that you can loop them.
And if you can't find a kid for them, Holger can certainly use them as bait.
Oh, that's right. If Holger waves these, he gets slaves.
Yes.
Holger is our slave trader in the village. He comes from Germany every year in the summer to capture and sells slaves. This means he finds a woman who looks like young, pretty, and well-shaped. What is it?
Young, well-shaped, and easy to hide.
Something easy to hide.
Yeah, he has said that at least once.
I
But
thought it was young, fresh, and well-shaped. That's it. Young,
Yes.
fresh, and well-shaped.
It was when he tried to sell a small woman. He
Yeah.
said that she was easy to hide.
That's true, yeah. And then he usually likes to pick one that has a boyfriend that doesn't look like the boyfriend will kick his ass, but looks like the boyfriend will get in a lot of trouble if he doesn't bid to get the girl back. Because after he catches them with the net, it's a really big fishing net that he's made, puts them up on stage after trouncing through the whole village saying, "Slave for sale, slave for sale." And then he gathers a big crowd and he starts the bidding on the slave, or the pretty girl that he caught. And the girl gives the deadliest look to the boyfriend going, "If you don't bid."
He used to use women's shoes.
Yeah.
Because women lose concentration when they see shoes. Women like shoes. But then he also discovered that women also like babies. And
Yeah.
baby shoes is the perfect bait.
So, yeah. So
They
there you
don't
go.
even see the net when he has baby shoes.
So if you see a German guy here in the village with a net and baby shoes, women, no, stay away. It's a trick. Anyway, but yeah, the loop's there so that they can, you know how you run mittens? Sometimes with kids, they'll have like a string on their mittens to go through the jackets so they don't lose them. You can do the same thing there. You can use them to pull them on your feet, but needle binding stretches that way, as we discovered last week with the sack. So you don't want to stretch them if you don't have to. You don't want to use them to pull them up. You actually do want to scrunch them up. But it's so that they don't lose them. But they're cute. So now I have to make a crap load more. And there's something, because I'm not perfect myself, obviously. I need to find a better way to join in the back. See that? It kind of wants to dent. Well, if I don't drop it, it wants to dent down right there where my join is. I can make these a bit smaller. The start stitches, try to shrink them down a little bit, or start with something smaller, then finish 2 plus 2, and then continue. But otherwise, you make a flat piece first, and the shape of the foot that you want, and then that. It's the same as the slipper tutorial I did on Instagram about a year ago, I think, or so. Anyway, a little less than a year ago, maybe. Ta-da-da! So I finished something. And now I'm starting a hat with this yarn and finished 2 plus 2 yet again, because it's the only yarn or stitch I can find that's thick enough that it's not getting too felted with. Okay, I gotta go back. Yes, Nelle says I'm butchering it. It's yeah, not Neulakentat. Okay, go ahead. Tell us how it is. She can't.
How do you want her to do that?
That's not my problem. No, I don't know. I keep saying Neulakentat or Neulakentat, or doesn't matter as long as I know how to spell it. That's the key thing. Okay, but I'll make something with Coptic. Coptic curls like mad too. Just like it's exactly like, it functions exactly like stockinette stitch in knitting, where you knit every row, not back and forth. But anyway, but it crosses, so it's not exactly like it, but it curls on the end. You get like that curl. So that's not one of my favorite ones, but it's a good stitch to know, and a good one. If I remember correctly, though, that one will unravel. That's one of the few needle binding stitches that will unravel. Is this week 99? Yeah. Did I write 90? No, I wrote it's 99. Next week is 100.
Oh.
I don't know. We still haven't figured out what in the hell we're gonna do. Do you need some baby booties that only fit really small babies, tiny new ones? And they probably itch? Just put that there. No. So I think I don't know what we're gonna do. We might have to do cake and just eat it in front of you. I'm trying to use my mouse on the computer. Prude is here too. Albert said, is it week 99? Yeah. The title says week, not 99. Oi. Well, gotcha, didn't I? I must have missed it.
What?
I think when I made the picture for it, I can actually check it. It's on the computer screen behind me here. I think I did it. I was in such a hurry to make it. No, it says week 99 on my picture. Maybe on Facebook it got cut. Let's see. No, it says 99. Is he messing with me? I think he's messing with me. Let's see, I lost scroll a bit there. Is this week 9? The title says week 9, not 99. Oh no, February 9th. Maybe that's what you're thinking? Oh, I wrote Saturday, February 9th. It's supposed to be February 5th. Okay, well, if you haven't figured out where we've begun. No, this is week 99. I will fix all of those before I log out tonight. Carl fell asleep. Yep, the needle binding gets him every time. We were just talking about that with Torben too. If I have you and Runa and Greg or so sitting with me and I start talking needle binding, all three of you go in the background like this. Or this.
What do you want me to do? Go, less thumb, woman. Don't use your thumbs.
Yeah, that would be bad. Now you just sit there and look cute in that needle-bound hat. Okay, so no, I see what the problem was. It says February 9th. I will fix it. Arlene says, no null binding today. My wrist is very sore from yesterday. Try doing if the needle binding's making your wrist hurt, you can try pulling up or pulling down if you usually do the other way, or even holding your needle like this and pulling with the other hand, if that works. But the biggest thing with any craft as far as knit and crochet and null binding go is sink your shoulders. Because if you do it like this, everything's gonna hurt. And I've had carpal tunnel syndrome for almost 30 years now, 25, yeah, over 25 years now, maybe 27. Anyway, and that's one thing, the biggest thing that was hard to learn is lower your shoulders. But I still can't knit and crochet for very long because same issue. Let's see. We're due for a false spring this week. It says Peruda. Do you think we'll get one? He still doesn't do weather. Okay. So Regina needs inspiration. What she do? I could do another stash busting one. Oh, and Nella had needle binding, or no, craft UFO bingo or something. It was like you write all your projects on there and you tried that you want to finish and you put it all in a huge your bingo sheet and you try to get a bingo. I thought that was a really good idea. She also has a hashtag thing that she's joined in on using your UFOs, trying to complete them all. It's a bit like the stash busting thing, since I'm still stash busting for 2021. Lyra I saw that she saw the moose and stitch and have no clue how to decrease. Oh, I gotta look up the moose and stitch and remember exactly how to do that, but it should be... Oh yeah, because you're doing F1, M1. You're, this is also you're binding not just at the top, but in the middle and the top. Oh God, that's not even easy to do without glasses here. I can do this. Your connection is like that. So how would you decrease to that one? You could grab the bottom one and then like that. So you have your regular, but instead of grabbing the middle loop of the previous one, you can grab the top one twice. That will decrease because you'll be reducing your top row by 2. Not the middle, but the top row will at least reduce by 2. So it's a thought, but that might be when you want to bring up to Ann Decker on Zoom how to decrease it. I think that's how I would do it. So test it and let me know how it goes. But your moose and stitch looks really, really cool. You should do a yarn exchange. Everyone send in one skein ball and everyone gets one back. If only I had time to operate the postal station, I would be the postal system. I would totally be up for that. In Oslo one year, I went to the Folk Museum, the one with the big church and all the old houses, and they were having a Strikke festival, or the knitting festival there, and this is before Corona. They set up a whole bunch of tables where people could participate, and they brought in their yarn and they threw it all on the table, and basically you take one out of your basket and just take one of theirs, so you swap it. And if you didn't have yarn to swap, you could just buy it straight out for them for pretty much nothing, and it was really cool, and I would love to participate in one of those again because I have a lot of yarn I'd love to exchange for colors that I can use. Yeah, there it is, Nella Royce there. We are hosting a finish along on Instagram, rating work in progress, WIP box 22. Check that one out, Regina. You can get lots of inspiration there. I'm inspired to do it, but I have to finish I have a lot to finish. I have to finish the stash busting. Max says, actually the connection for the stitch musum is M2 from left to right. Okay, let me think. Like that, and then you twist and do your next stitch, is it? If that's the case, then you would just take 3 and then switch. It's possible she has that written on Neulock and Taught to See. But if it's just M2, the middle 2, that is a decrease, actually. All right, now I'm making something in Coptic and in Moose and Stitch next week. I hope you're happy. They're going to be small. I could do that in Gudvangen at some point. What did I miss? Oh, the yarn exchange in Gudvangen. That might be something to bring up towards the market. It can't look like this, though, if it's in a Viking village. It has to kind of look just like yarn, and you can't have the pinks and you can't have the blacks. That might be a little bit tricky to do, but that would be a good idea. Maybe at the Christmas market, because then at the Christmas market we can get away with with modern, because it's a Christmas market, not a Viking market. That's the first weekend in Advent. Okay, let's see. What else? Torben says, I don't know what Viking is, what a Vikini is. But Karl should definitely wear one. So I'm guessing Pruda says her socks, she's making socks for Greg and they look kind of like a bikini. Anytime you start a hat or something in the round, it looks a bit like this. And if you're making something like socks or mittens, you need to do 2 at a time. So for a while there, you kind of have a bikini thing going.
Yes, you are going into a very saturated market here. Because both Holger and Vemund are producing their own bikinis.
Yes.
But if you want to make needle-bound ones, there is free room for that.
Okay, but
Vemund is making his out of mail.
Yeah, chainmail.
And Holger is making his out of tiny little seashells and a lot of leather string.
He's going kind of Hawaiian, huh?
I don't think the Hawaiians ever did
But
that.
this is why needle binding would win, because of course, well, needle binding shrinks in the water. It could felt.
Seashell lets your nipples have the ocean, and chainmail just rust in water.
Okay, I tried. We need some more arguments as to why the needle-bound Vikinis. Are you gonna wear one if we make one? Your body is more bikini ready than mine, pal. No? Okay, I tried.
I will model anything that you are willing to model afterwards.
Oh. I see what you did there. It's not working. Okay. Where else am I missing here? Anyway, so that's where we came up with the name Vikini. It's just bikini, but with Viking. Let's see. Oh, there it says. I thought Sabrina has the bikini written up there somewhere. Where is it? Ah, I missed it. The scroll goes by kind of fast. Albert says he's been eyeing some things for a modern vest, and so far I need to learn how to put the interlinings and how to do that. That is tricky to do the lining of a jacket or something. If you're going to line something and it's on the inside, technically you have to make it slightly smaller. It's like making another one but slightly smaller than the original, and then you put them in there and then sew the outer edge around. But it is tricky. Let's see what else we have here. I think I got through it, and then I'm going to throw something at Karl. MA plus F1 is for variant G, which is Linda, similar to Mom and her Corgan stitch. M1 plus F1 for variant G. That might have been what I was looking at. Okay, anyway, but Max is giving me homework, so I will do that. I'm just saying, I did my last week's homework. I didn't get much done, but I did do Russian 2+2. Although I didn't actually make something in Russian 2+2. I haven't done that in probably 6 years, so it's about time to do it again. But I'm not doing it with this yarn. So it's just fuzzing like mad. So Karl bought a book today, and then he left it at the counter and walked away from it. So I don't know. What did you buy? And why did you want to buy this one? Obviously you haven't read it yet.
No, I haven't read it.
It's in the store. Do we have more?
No, this is the last one.
Oh, sorry, you can't have it.
My process for buying books is pretty simple. There is no rocket surgery to it. I look up something I know a lot about, and then I read how they describe it.
Okay.
If their description is A, not wrong, and B, interesting, then it's probably like that for other things as well. When it comes to this book in particular, that's not necessarily the case, because there is a lot of different authors writing different chapters in this book. But one of them is Neil Price, so I think this is going to be okay.
Neil Price wrote Ashen Elm, Children of Ashen Elm.
Yeah.
Which book? That one we actually have, I think, 6 copies left. And he also wrote The Viking Way, and this week we sold 2 of those, and we still have 4 left, I think.
And also my threshold to buy a book is not particularly high, so I would rather buy a bad book than not buy a good one, so to speak. And I also found a thing in this book that kind of interested me enough that I bought it.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping to get a little bit of clarification of what I'm looking at. One thing I've heard repeatedly is that there are no finds of broad belts from the Viking Age. All belts are really thin. And most finds seem to be pointing in that direction. But I saw a picture here of something I strongly suspect is a broad belt. So I want to know if it's a broad belt or not. And if so, we should probably relax on that stricture a little bit.
We need to get more belts made for the shop. They sell too fast. Leather belts, the skinny ones. So what did you see? Show us the picture.
This one. I don't know how broad it is
it's
because
upside
the
down when I
picture
show it.
doesn't give me the dimensions. But it's a belt with what looks like a fairly massive head. And it also seems to be having probably metal strips.
Oh, instead of squares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah,
I haven't
interesting.
seen one like that. Does it say in the caption what it's from?
I don't know. I just bought the book. Haven't read it.
But that's what made you buy the book.
It's part of it. Because, and also I went to the chapter about warriors and just read a few lines and go, okay, this seems fun to me, and then I bought it.
Okay. Can I see the book again? Because I only showed it for a second. There it is. It was Vikings Life and Legends, and it's edited by 3 people.
Yeah, but it's written
Williams,
by...
Pence, and it's a whole collection of people that wrote it, though.
It's written by a whole lot more people.
Yeah. It's a pretty big book, but we only had 1 left?
Yeah.
Here's your page.
No, it was the front art very much looks like the front art on Swords of the Viking Age, and it was right next to Swords of the Viking Age. So that's probably why I hadn't noticed we had it in the store until today.
When was it printed? Or I'm just curious because we're ordering new books again in the spring.
But I don't even know if this is good enough to recommend. So
Oh, we'll read it quickly.
First.
That'll give you something to do for the next month. It's a pretty thick book. Textbook like, okay, I'll put the camera back. I forgot to bring the gimbal today. Let's see. Drea's back. Welcome back, Drea. She got a new job. Congratulations. Okay.
British Museum Press 2014. So
2014,
newish.
so it's still new enough to find. Okay. The sconson stitch, now that is one I have not tried, is otherwise similar to the Broden stitch, but the connection is M2 left to right. That would be a good one to try. I like it when you, but M2, when you start doing that, then yeah, there's a reason she thinks that the decrease and increases, well, the decreases are tricky, but if you do Oslo M1, I don't think that actually has a name, but it takes something like this, which is Oslo, and it makes it look almost similar to dollar now, but it gets thicker too. Ah, Jensi Eriksson is here. Oh, she just made it. You almost missed it here. For you latecomers, I finished something. But I need a better a better way to do that connection there at the heel. The only thing I can think of is using a shorter stitch there in the beginning or tightening it even more. Let's see, what else am I missing here? She made it in Albert here, and okay, so the sconson, you're putting a lot of work on me. Okay, so sconson, Moosen, and Coptic, I have that to do by next week. No problem, I got this. It might not be very big. It might be just a small thing, but I will. But the sconson stitch, is that on Noy Lakentot's page? Sana's page? Because that's pretty much where I go to define these things, because I don't needle bind flat, I do connect it on the thumb. But I just don't like to needle bind flat because my gauge is all over the place if I do. M connections make me mad. I've learned this, but I love the stitch. It takes a little more time. You can't just kind of whiz through it. You have to. Do you know I actually did start a project in Oslo with fat yarn at home. I didn't bring it with, but it's nothing to do with the stash busting. I should definitely not have started it, but I just needed a break from teeny tiny skinny yarn. It felt so good. But if you do like Oslo M1, that's a little bit more painless, but you still got to focus a bit instead of going with all these extra ones. No, I've never heard of the sconson stitch either. Look at that. You got Jenny Eriksson looking for something too. Good. She and I have a goal. Who else wants to play with this sconson stitch? And I have to look on I have my computer behind me. I'll see if I can find a link. Let's see. en.neulakintaat.fi, and then we get the English page. What would that be under? Sconson? I haven't heard of that. And which family? If it's like Mammen, you said, then I'm assuming it's in the Finnish family. Let's see. It is. I am not seeing it on there. Oh wait, maybe at the very bottom where my phone is covered. No, I'm gonna need a link. I want to try this one. Oh no, if I'm gonna be distracted by this sconson stitch, then Yenny is too. You don't get to run. She said she doesn't want any distractions right now. Okay, I'll throw another book at you. Karl bought a book earlier this year, or you got it as a present? This one you actually have read a bit of. It's Kim Yardart. Yeah. Kim Yardart is, he lives near where I live, actually, Norway in the east, and writes a whole crap load of books. That's how you spell his name, by the way. This one is in English, too, I believe. Vikings, what does it call it in Norwegian, or English? Vikings' Greatest Warrior? What is the English title for that?
I think it has an English title, and it would probably be something like Great Battles of the Viking Age, or Greatest Battles of the Viking Age.
He wrote a lot of books, though. Oh, look, there's a nice picture of Kim. He looks like that. And no, he's taken. Okay.
This one goes through battles individually and with a fairly good level of detail. So it's a fairly good reference for particular battles from the Viking Age. And a lot of them I hadn't heard about before I got this book, and that makes them particularly interesting.
Oh, let's see. Yun says, I also have a teeny tiny yarn project right now. Must be finished before birthday mid-February, so no distractions. Okay, so no waving these new stitches about. That's just horrible. I'm gonna have to do it anyway, you know that, right? Albert says, can he show the belt again? I think I have found more info on it. The big belt in your book that you just got. He's on it, he's looking. Oh, Lyra's gonna play. Okay, so Lyra's gonna look for this Wisconsin stitch too. I will, Ann Decker has Zoom tomorrow. I have no excuse to not make it. I don't think I have to do office work tomorrow, but I should be able to squeeze it in. It's at, well, she has one at 2 a.m. in the morning for me, so that's actually in about 8 hours, 7.5 hours. And then she has another one, which is at 4 p.m. my time, which is about 22 hours, 21.5 hours away. And I will have to join in on that and throw her and ask her. I have no excuse not to make it, and if I don't make it, Nell will send me messages on Instagram and make sure I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, you found it?
There it is. It might obviously be that it is much smaller than it looks.
I don't know if you can see it very well. I can also try, if the light is too heavy, I can try to, if you hold it like that. And I should have had a gimbal today, but I will turn the camera. And then maybe we can see it this way. Is that better? Is it casting a shadow? Yeah, you can see the strips there. Okay. And it said in the thing here, didn't it?
Well, I wouldn't know. I haven't read it, as I said.
Male weapon burial. No, sometimes it says in there, but... No. Anyway, I have to keep looking. There we are. It's back in place. I do not like the Tarum Copson stitch, writes Yenny, even though I really wanted to. I got it. I just didn't think it looked different enough, I think is what kind of threw me with it. I don't like that it curls, but it doesn't curl like some needle binding will curl that way. This one curls from the bottom up. So it's not like, it doesn't curl like York, it curls like knitting, like a stockinette stitch as we call it in English. Or glattestrik in Norwegian. So if you had something like these, it would curl this way on the top, so you have to always assume a little extra space for that curled edge. The curled edge could be kind of cute, especially on a hat, to have it curled here, but you have to add extra space to allow for that curl. But then other, like York and stuff, they can twist this way instead. So one, I don't like it because of the twist, and two, I think I think it so closely resembles knitting that I'd rather just knit it. And I think if I'm going to do needle binding, I'm going to want it to not look like knitting. But this is just personal because we have people that love Coptic. Ann Decker, I don't know if she loves it, but she does a whole ton of stuff in Coptic and Tarum. She did those socks with the 2 toes. No, lock and tot, Wisconsin stitch. Garcia found it. Okay, then I just have to do a search. I only looked really quick. And Albert said he found a different one, but it was from Sweden. On the belt thing, by the way.
Yeah, this one was from Sweden. It's from Gotland, if I read correctly.
Yeah. Yeah?
This is some of the items found in grave 222B, Eirhelvi, Gotland.
Gotland, that's Sweden.
Yes.
That could be the same one, Albert. Let's see. Okay, back to turning this into... so here's a fun question for you. So because it's finished 2 + 2, I start with more stitches in a ring. How many stitches do you need to start your finished 2 + 2 to get it to go flat? Because I took 14 and I should have used more because this is going to be bugging me for a while. I'm going to have to add more now to make up for the fact that it didn't go completely flat. Oh, he said it had a different buckle on the belt. Yeah, Garcia said it looks a bit like Mom and Stitch. Okay, yeah, and then as Max was writing, it is Mom and Stitch, but with a different connection. If I remember that correctly, I have to look back up and scroll and see. And yeah, Yenny says it curls a lot and looks like knitting, but there are some lovely ancient finds. There are a lot of ancient finds. Okay, who I know Regina likes doing Coptic stitch. Who else likes to do Coptic stitch? Because for everybody that hates Coptic stitch, there's somebody that absolutely loves it. One of my favorite stitches, though, absolute favorite, is Dalarna. I should do more with it, actually. It's very easy. It's like one mistake away from Oslo. And it has this nice woven look, and on the other edge it looks like ridges, like garter stitch and knitting. So you can get two completely different looks from the same thing. But if you have a multicolored yarn, Dalarna is a really good way to make those colors look like they blend in together, like they're going into each other. Albert says, so there are a few of those belts that have plates on them.
Yeah, I've seen the one with the pictogram, the square pictogram type. But don't know if you've seen Georg's red belt. That's in that category.
Oh,
The
not
thin
that. I didn't look at his belt too closely, I gotta say.
The thin metal strips.
Yeah.
Georg will happily talk about his belt for hours on end, but I've never seen anything with these thin metal strips before.
Georg is back, by the way. Our chieftain, by the way, if you don't know who Georg is. Dalarna, yeah, Yenny likes it too. It's a favorite. If I had thicker yarn in my stash basket that I'm trying to use up here, that I was supposed to use up by the end of the year, I would do more in Dalarna. I was even trying, because I like Dalarna so much, I was trying to do, was it the Oberg stitch or Oslo stitch? I can't remember. I think I said that one wrong, but it's similar to Dalarna anyway. But this thing was, it just keeps felting together. So I gave up with it. This gray one would work fine, but there's only this much left. So this is about as much yarn as I have to use up yet. I was supposed to use, and that I should have used up by the end of the month. This one is a bit smoother. I think it's a merino. This one might work for that because it's not felting as fast as the other one. It's my mom's leftover yarn, so I have no idea what kind it is. It feels like merino. And then that one. This one I don't know why I threw this in the basket. I shouldn't have, because I think I've got like 10 of these. So I might begin something with it bigger. I don't know, but this one will probably be the last one in the basket that I have to use up. But this is the leftovers that didn't get used up from that capelet. So when I finish all of this, then I can do something else. I have something else in here I can show, because we're having a show and tell moment here. My kid, I actually won a book from Ulrike Clausen, the Nalbinding Vassistas, or Nalbinding, what is that? Nalbinding, anyway. Because she had a little thing going where you had to take a picture of your needle storage and send it in, and then she would send you a book. So she did. My kid found this at an antique shop. I don't know if it's for a cigar or for DPNs, which is double-pointed knitting needles. But it's perfect for storing my needles. Right now it's got a crochet hook in there. You didn't see that. But anyway, I can put certain amount of needles in there. It's quite cool. It has a little crack, but in the lid, I think. But I think it's an antique. There you can kind of see the crack that's in the lid there. But it works. So my kid found that one year. I don't know where she was or what, but she found it and she got it for me, and that was probably the coolest gift. And she was only 7 at the time, or 8, I think. Oh, Torben's got to go because the diaper demon Slonish is going bananas. That's because he was so good in the cafe, though. See you next week, and remember the PEN forever. I told him instead of penciling him in, I was going to pen him in, and I used capital PEN, but it looked like an acronym, so we've probably spent most of the evening last night trying to think of different acronyms for PEN. So if you want to add to that, see if you can find it. N is for needle binding and Nalbinding and Nalbinding. So perfectly engaging Nalbinding. We can do more acronyms for PEN. You can join in.
Just try to avoid pathetically embarrassing needle binding.
That could be. Okay, pathetically embarrassing needle binding. We have a new winner for the acronym PEN. No, it was supposed to be pen as in an actual pen. Yes, as Heidi says, perfectil strikkepinnar. It's good. It's perfect for knitting needles. Yeah. So I think this is actually for DPNs, which we call them in the United States DPN, but they're the double-pointed knitting needles that you use to make socks, and you get like a little set of 4 or 5 of them, probably 5. So yeah. I definitely think it was probably for that, not a cigar, because I think the cigar would have been a little too fat to fit in there. I don't know, but I like it. Good kid. And she won me a book. So Ulrika Clausen sent me the book, which is good because I was too cheap to go out and buy it. Garcia says she's making yarn of Navajo spindle and having fun. Oh, cool. On a Navajo spindle and having fun. Is that like a drop spindle? Or no, I have to look up Navajo spindle. Let's see. Navajo spindle. Images. Oh yeah, it's like a drop spindle. That's a fun way to do it. I feel like I have a little bit more control that way. You agree for needles? See, Arlene's on my side. There are many types of cigars. Hush, Albert. We're using it for needles now. No cigars will be going in that etui. The box. No cigars. And oh, there's Yenny's excited. A Navajo spindle. They're big, right? I can't spin well enough to show tourists, but I would love to learn more about that craft. I need to. It's been a while since I did spinning on YouTube, but I could probably try it again. I've done it a couple times anyway. If you look in the summer ones, I think it's usually the main picture will have like a bunch of wool on it or something. I don't know. That's usually one that I do when I don't get anyone to sit with me, because wool I can talk about for ages. But when we have people like Karl here, who's deeply engrossed in his book, then we get a little Viking on top of it. Do you want to show him the other books I found? How about this one?
I have no idea which books you found.
This one you just bought for curiosity. Snorres kongesagor, höjdpunkter. Snorres king sagas.
It's a Norwegian silly book.
How was it though? Did it try to teach you anything?
Well, it does try to. It takes the best moments, making a stupid cartoon around them.
Show them. Show the cartoons. Do we still have that book in the store?
I doubt it.
We have other comic-like books for kids. We have the Valhalla series. That one has actually been selling pretty well. Those are in Norwegian. I don't know if they come in English. We actually have a few of the single ones in Danish. Because that was a misorder. We got Danish one year, so we're still trying to get rid of those.
That is short enough to actually read through for the purpose of this.
Yeah. Or you could read the back of the book. That's a really big pig. It's got Olav Tryggvason in there.
It has basically a lot of. It's just vignettes from things that happened in the Viking Age that these authors think are funny enough to write about. A 15-year-old becomes king. A sword splits a man in two. Sacrificing a horse with the Christian king. Very horny earl loses his head. Angry farmers, mead and bloody battles. A power-hungry guy who don't want to have a haircut because before he has turned Norway into one kingdom. This is just a part of the what's in the King sagas by Snorri Sturlason from the 1200s. So basically, let's call it a Snorre primer. So people who think that might be interesting, but it might not be funny enough for them, well, they can get all the good bits in this one, basically.
Yeah? What's the back say?
That was what I just
Oh,
read.
you just read it. Sorry, I got distracted by the novel. I was looking at the Navajo spindles. But there is actually something
Oh,
Karin...
it's amazing. If it is not needle binding, you fall off the wagon immediately.
If it's
And
about
you
needle
sit in the
binding and you're
grass
sleeping
staring
over
at
there.
staring at your needles.
Okay, Viking, Nalbinding.
Mhm.
Little they had I have spindles on my screen. But also there was a comment that actually caught me though. Garcia was asking, Navajo spindles I think have nothing to do with Vikings, right? And Yancy answers, no, not at all. As far as I know, Vikings didn't use supported spindles. So this I'm actually kind of curious about because I thought we did, but not necessarily a Navajo style one. But the weights, they found these like way older than Viking age as well, and all over the world, it's basically a stick with a weight on it, and the weight can be down here or the weight could be up at the top. And the weights are often the same weights that are used with a warp-weighted loom or an opstavev. So I'd always thought that they have, but I'm not the weaving expert here or spinning expert, so I haven't actually looked it
I
up.
don't know what goes into the term supported spindle.
Yeah, but this one here, when I'm looking at some pictures anyway, so I don't know what makes the difference between a whorl and a stick versus a Navajo one. But some of these look a lot like that kind, for example. It's hard to show.
This is one field where I don't really know the terminology good enough to say anything sensible.
Because I think I guess maybe this one here might be a little too modern looking, obviously, but a whorl and a stick anyway, and then you can.
No, I don't think there is anything we can do today with the concept of a disc on a stick that they couldn't have done in the Viking Age.
No, but these are found all over the world, and.
Yes, but is that what she's talking about when she says supported spindle?
Yeah, this was wondering. Okay, Ian, clarify. Pruda says Russia has bowl-supported spindles, though, so there's a chance Vikings knew them. Okay. Garcia says it's very addicting. Yes, it is, actually. I don't know if I really consider myself a spinner, but I kind of stopped needle binding for tourists for the most part, and I've actually spin for them while they're on the... while they're going on the guided tour, and so that they come by, then because spinning is more fun to watch than grandma knitting a sweater. I'm not a grandma, but I look like one, I guess, or something. But when they come back around, then they'll see that I'm needle binding, and then they'll ask questions about that. But because also if I sit there and spin in the background, I don't necessarily have to tell them what I'm doing with the carding of the wool and everything, and then spinning it. I can pretty much just do it while Karl, for example, or any other guide walks by and tells about textiles, etc. on his tour. And they can just see what I'm doing in the background without actually having to tell them.
I think,
See,
without being 100% certain,
Okay.
I think a supported spindle is this.
That's
that
with
you
a bowl.
have something to
Yeah.
rest it in.
To show the picture.
So,
This one's with the bowl, though. That one I don't think... Did they have that?
not as far as I know.
I don't think they've had
This
that.
is the first time I've seen it, but this is one of the first images that come up when I search for the term supported spindle.
No, we just drop spindle, where you drop it and spin it.
The drop spindle is then an unsupported spindle, or so.
Maybe that's it.
And I did have thread, so I had to make it somehow. And I do think a lot of these weights have been found.
She said, yeah, Jenny says, I don't know of any supported bowls found in Norse context, but could definitely be wrong, and I would like to know if any. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that too. And there writes, Nele supported spindle is on ground bottoms, and whirl spindles still drop spindles. Okay, so that might be the difference then. Because I'm pretty sure we had drop spindles in the Viking Age.
Well, they had thread, and that is the simplest way of making it.
Yeah, the other would be to sit there and just kind of hold it and wrap it and twist, but that would take forever. But I'm pretty sure they had
Well, it's hard to say.
But with the bowl, no, I've never seen that being used in...
You also have the references to the Norns spinning thread.
Yeah? The Norns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. You could tell your life or something. They could use it as a form of when you were, if this is the same one you're thinking of anyway, when a child was born, they would spin a thread. And
No. These are the mythological creatures that basically determines the shape of your life by spinning your thread and putting it into the weave.
Okay. But that wasn't the one where if there was a bump in your spinning, then that would be like a rough point in their
That
life.
would probably be in some prophetess's spinning, but if a Norn fucks up your spinning, you die.
Well, we don't want that. Okay, so I don't want any Norns spinning for me.
It's not supposed to be predictive, it's your actual life thread.
Okay.
So it's not something they use for prophecy. No? Oh no, you might have a little knot on your thread hair. It's like, no, snap, you're done.
How horrific. Okay, don't screw up your thread now. You heard that. There might be a life dependent on it if you snap your thread. You got lots to learn though. Yeah, a lot of drop spindle whorls found all over through Scandinavian Iron Age. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's whorls found everywhere, but okay, good. Because I haven't actually looked up sources for that, so I'm actually quite happy to hear that though. But yeah, I have recently taken more to spinning for tours and needle binding after when they come back after the tour. Because what I found out also when I was needle binding during the tours, then people would start interrupting your tour, for example, and ask too many questions about needle binding and you're on a time. So we would always have to constantly tell them, okay, yeah, but we're going to continue the next spot, but you can come back to her and ask questions after. So we do that. In the Viking village, by the way. Karl is a guide. And I am a craftsman, but I do a bunch of other stuff too. Okay, let's see. No, but not sure about supported spinning evidence. Now I get what you mean by that. Okay. So then, I have one more book here, Karl, that I grabbed from your stash. This one. Norske konger i land styrer I sagatid. Norwegian kings and, what's it, lands councilmen? Country councilman in saga times?
Basically, not everybody running Norway is a king. You have people like Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl, who officially never was a king, but de facto was the king of Norway.
Yeah.
So it's like, call it the saga age, not the Viking age, because then they can justify stretching it well into the medieval period. And there is a lot of interesting things that happen in Norway right after the Viking age, in the very early medieval age. And it's not part of my job to be interested in that, but I should be a little bit interested in that. And it is interesting.
Okay, tell us one of your favorite stories from there. I think we have time. No, we have 3 minutes. Wow, time flew! Crap, I'm too busy thinking about things.
To very quickly sum it up, it is considered to be the golden age of Norway. We are becoming more literate, more cosmopolitan than we were in the Viking age.
Yeah?
And we have some super powerful kings like Magnus Lagabøter and Håkon Håkonsson. Norway is also considerably bigger back then, because we had kings who liked to conquer countries instead of just surrendering and giving things away.
Is that what our king does now?
No.
When I say our, I mean yours, because I'm actually American.
If the king had enough power to do that, we would be very, very afraid, but no, he doesn't.
No. You have a nice king.
Yes.
He's a very nice one. King Kong Harald. And then his son, Prince Håkon, will be next.
Yes. So then he will be Håkon the 8th, I think.
Yep. So here's the thing. There was a bit of a debate when Prince Håkon got married. He's about the same age as you and I. And he got married to Mette-Marit. And Mette-Marit was a single mom, unwed. And I think her ex-boyfriend or the kid's father was a drug user. This was really bad in those days. But they let it happen. And then the movie Shrek came out.
Basically last year.
No, it wasn't last year. It was probably about 20 years ago. It came out at the same time as Shrek, so we thought this was great. So basically, the princess does not have to be perfect to still have a prince.
No, this entire way of running things.
Yeah.
This guy, the guy who is going to be Håkon the 8th, Håkon Magnus. He is born into this. He basically has absolutely no choice. He has not made a bad profile considering the hand he was dealt. But giving him at least enough power to choose his own partner would be nice. And also, sooner or later we are going to get a lunatic as king. Somebody who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up and let the politicians do their job. It is just by the grace of the gods that we get him and not his sister, who is older. Because if we had changed the
Marta
inheritance,
Luisa, yeah.
if we had changed the inheritance laws a little bit earlier, she would have inherited because she is older than him, and she is. I might be getting close to Norwegian laws about insulting the royalty, but she is such a fruitcake that she would have killed the monarchy almost instantly.
Let's just say she's her head is in the clouds. We can probably say that quite safely.
Yes. And as an added bonus, if she had become Queen of Norway, we would have a shaman as prince consort of the Queen.
Yeah. There you go. So, out of curiosity, for those of us who don't have monarchies, how much of a role does the king actually play in government?
The only thing he can do in peacetime is to refuse to sign a decision into law 3 times. Well, actually can only refuse 2 times. The last time he has to sign it.
Okay.
In wartime, he is the theoretical commander of all armed forces.
Okay.
Theoretical.
So he's a little bit more than a cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how real this power is. We had Håkon VII during the Second World War, and he didn't really swing his
Axe.
stick around. But I think he has some actual power in a war. The king would actually be able to make decisions.
Yeah. Well, there was the very quick sum up. We're actually at 61 minutes now. So, and I'm just going to see if I got all the chat. I think I did. Yeah, no, Garcia writes that you can use a Navajo on the ground or a little bowl. You can use a Navajo on the ground or a little bowl. Okay, yeah, to keep it from running away. I've actually... Your head went there, didn't it?
I'm sorry. I can't help myself. And when you end it with to keep it from running away, I just couldn't contain myself anymore.
To keep the spinner from spinning away.
Again.
All right, I'm just going to let you ponder that for a little bit, and you can look it up anyway. Yeah, it went really, really fast. I can't believe it, but wow. So next week is 100. I still have no idea what we'll do. Maybe we'll eat cake in front of you. God, we really got to do a giveaway at some point, though.
Yeah, but I would really like to see a best of.
I need to make a best of one, but that takes a best of compilation would be good, but that's going through 100 videos and a lot of editing. And I work 100% and I drive 6 to 12 hours every week to get to work and back. So I don't know if I'll have time for that, but we got to think of something anyway. Oh, say hello to Ina too for me, Albert. God, we'll think of something.
Can't you use one of your tame goblins for this?
Yeah, because Peruda has no time. Peruda, you want to do it? No. I'm going to have to make her something for it too, jeez. Oh, we have to go through, I don't know. We have to, yeah. Can you post a link of the sconce and stitch on the Facebook group? Max, are you in the Facebook group? The Nalbinding with the brown bag on it and all the needles? And if I find it, I'll do it. But if you, since you're the one that brought it up, if you can find a link, I think we have several people who want to play with this stitch by the next week. And maybe for a 100-year anniversary, Karin learns a new stitch. That would be kind of fun. No, we'll have to think of something. Emily Gom says it's on the website she mentions. Okay, so it is on Nylock and Tut then. Or New Lock and Tut. It looks challenging. Oh, but as long as it's not as bad as the Oman stitch. Oman or Mani stitch. That one is, not Oman, Omani. That one is, it's got 2 twists you gotta do. You got the turn on the thumb, but you also have a turn back here and a turn back here. You have 3 turns. So as long as it's not as bad as that one, because that one has me swearing every time. What I need is basically a better start video for that stitch. I'll make it a hat. I'll make a hat for giveaway. Okay, you can make a hat for giveaway. I know I definitely have a lot of hats that Aylin didn't want to put in the shop because it wasn't neutral enough in color. So I'm sure we can find one of those and do giveaway. We should do a giveaway. Okay, I will work out details with Pruda. She's probably got a really good idea. You're not sure about sconce. Okay, we're going to figure this out. We are going to find it. I will bring it up to Ann Decker on Zoom and let you know next week what happened. And who's ever with me can be bored off their asses while I talk about it. It'll be kind of fun. Okay, I love this, Max. Thank you for the challenges, because I need it. I need to be challenged. Okay, we're gonna go because I've got food in the oven and it's gonna burn. I can smell it. So I'll see you next week, same time. We don't have anything going on Saturday at 6 o'clock. No groups, no nothing. No.
Well, it's in the hands of the gods of
It's in the hands of the gods of tourism. We will be here on Saturday. At least I will be on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Yes, we'll find it. We can give away a Viking. Anybody want Karl? He has the best nighttime stories. No, he doesn't. You can't. He's mine. Okay, I'm leaving. I really am. Bye.
Bye.